actions speak louder than words, and some games take this advice to heart. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 video game stories told with minimal dialogue.
Dale.
For this list, we'll be looking at video games told with little to no dialogue. A sprinkling of words here and there is fine, so long as the bulk of the game's narrative is told through action. And of course, as always, we'll only be accepting one game per franchise. Number 10, Proteus. Proteus tells a classic circle of life story. As the player, you waltz through its procedurally generated, retro-inspired world interacting with the island's nature. The game's changing seasons rotate through new color palettes, transforming everything around you into something new and inspiring, giving the player a new lens to examine the world around them. Music and sound play a key role in how Proteus communicates its themes and tone, but the end result is a mesmerizing tale of the stages of life. Number 9, Machinarium. Machinarium follows the plight of a small robot named Joseph, named after Joseph Capek, the man who coined the term robot. Discarded into a disposal unit, Joseph puts himself back together and then sets out on a quest to return home, but along the way finds himself caught up in a mission to save his city from destruction. Told entirely through animations and settings, Machinarium is a humbling story that's as inventive and inspiring as they come. Even without any words, Machinarium is an incredibly affecting tale. Number 8, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. The world's greatest action figures come to life as Super Smash Bros. Brawl tells a universe-bending story about Nintendo's iconic cast of characters, plus a few extras. In Subspace Emissary mode, Nintendo's heroes band together to prevent an unknown and omnipotent force from splitting their worlds apart forever. The plot is told without words, which makes sense given how few of Nintendo's mascots actually speak, making for a silent but stirring cross-character romp. There's something infinitely satisfying about getting to see Mario, Samus, and Link team up to fight tyranny. This mishmash of continuity did receive a mixed reception from fans and critics, but it's notable for its ambition if nothing else. Number 7, A Bird Story. Like the other games by Kangao and Freebird Games, A Bird Story uses flashbacks to tell a story about love and coming of age. The story follows a young boy who comes across a wounded bird after school and decides to take it home in the hopes of nursing it back to health. The bird is an anchor for the boy, and as players we learn more about his life, his family, and his schooling through his actions, all while he cares for the small injured bird. Number 6, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Like the name suggests, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons tells the story of two brothers. Throughout their quest to find a cure for their sickly father's illness, they venture through fantastic lands reminiscent of classic fables. Each brother is controlled independently by one analog stick on the player's gamepad, creating puzzles that illustrate the bond between the two boys. There's an innate familial love between the brothers, and the game's wordless communication does a fantastic job of demonstrating this with in-game action. Number 5, Another World. A testament to the quality of its world building, Another World was released in 1991, making it a pioneer in sophisticated game narrative. Another World opens on a young scientist conducting experiments with a particle accelerator, when suddenly lightning strikes and he is teleported to an alien planet. From there, the player sets about exploring the planet, learning about its residents, both good and bad, and trying to find a way home. In large part because of its emphasis on visual storytelling, the plot of Another World holds up remarkably today, an early achievement for video games. Number 4. Limbo. The visual metaphors in Limbo are so profound that it's a hard story to talk about without spoiling it. As its title suggests, Limbo is a game about the intermediate, the in-between, where the ambiguity of your circumstances are as deliberate as they are thought-provoking. You play as a young boy traveling through a dark, intimidating forest, followed by a city skyline. There are only a handful of characters sprinkled throughout this story, but Limbo manages to be a visceral and often terrifying experience that says more with its black and white shadows than some other games do dripping with text or dialogue. It's a triumph. Number 3. Ico. Ico begins with a boy being escorted by guards to a secluded castle in order to be imprisoned, a precaution after young Ico was born with 2 ominous horns. Of course, all of this is expressed to the player without words, save maybe for a few spoken in a non-existent language, helping the game create a sense of danger and mystery around the castle and everything in it. Ico as a game is a powerful, ambient story about a boy and a girl's attempt to escape their symbolic tomb. There are few games in the history of the medium that say so much with so little. Number 2. Super Metroid. For all intents and purposes, this list couldn't exist without Super Metroid. It is the de facto prime example of environmental storytelling. While there is a pretty dialogue-heavy intro, once the game proper starts, it's no talking from here on out. Not only does Super Metroid solidify Samus as the brave, iconic character that she is, but it manages to convey an entire story of ecology and architecture through its environment. Almost entirely through art direction, level design, and action, Super Metroid describes centuries of lore and context in addition to its exciting linear narrative. Super Metroid is a true classic. Before we name our number 1 pick, let's have a look at some honorable mentions. Number 1. Journey. Without the use of words, Journey crafts an unparalleled sense of pace. It takes players through desert, sea, and snow using visual language and sound to create crescendos in its rising and falling tensions. By seamlessly dropping online players in and out of each other's worlds, and forcing players to learn to communicate with each other through movement and chirps, Journey is able to create a rich personal story in the midst of an epic quest. It is a powerful, altogether moving game, an astounding story told through action, not dialogue. Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite visual narrative in games? For more spoken top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.